I came out for a walk this morning. The waves were back at the shore. Watching them made me wonder, who am I? Who is I? Who exactly is this I that keeps speaking? I, me, मैं. पर कौन हूँ मैं? कौन है ये मैं? I in Sanskrit is called aham, the self. Then I began to ask, how do I describe this I? I am a graphic designer, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a woman. Sometimes even my opinions become my identity. My political views, my taste in coffee, the books I read, the city I lived in. My feelings are valid because I feel deeply towards. I think, I feel, I achieved, I suffered. If I could walk away from the city I've built a life in for 4 years, if I could leave the career, the friends, the cafe, the familiarity, then surely I am not attached. This is what I told myself leaving London. And in many ways, it was a huge trade off. I chose freedom over certainty, time over a predictable career. Those 4 years didn't just give me memories, they gave me dignity, they gave me confidence, and a version of myself that I had struggled to find growing up. For a long time, life had felt like it was constantly breaking my swabhiman, my sense of self-worth. London didn't create my worth, but it became the place where I finally began to feel it. And looking back, I realized I wasn't completely detached from London because I had become attached to who London had allowed me to become. And when I moved back to my hometown, I genuinely believed I had changed. I thought I had seen a better way of living, better cafes, better design, better public spaces, better conversations. And slowly that became, I understand things people here don't. I have a better taste. I am different. I never said it out loud, but I lived like it. And then something strange happened. I found myself alone. Not physically, spiritually. I realized the wall between me and everyone else. It wasn't built by the town, but built by my own identity. I was attached to the identity, and within identity is where Ahankar sprouts. And when I becomes tightly attached to everything it identifies with, it becomes Ahamkar. Aham means I, and Kar means to do or make. Every part of your identity is relational. I am a daughter in relation to my parents. I am a graphic designer in terms of the value I add to the society. People usually think Ahankar or ego means boasting, but in Vedantic thought, it's more subtle. It's the constant identification with I. It quietly whispers, this is who I am. Hindu scriptures also say, जहाँ साधन है वहाँ अहंकार का होना अनिवार्य है. Wherever possessions exist, ego naturally flows. Not because possessions are entirely bad, but because they quietly become extensions of I. My house, my degree, my city, my job, my success, my suffering. And slowly this creates attachment to an identity, to possessions, to achievements, to a role we play in this world. And attachment creates separation. Separation is another form of ahankar. Notice the waves in this ocean. A wave rises, becomes magnificent for a few seconds, and then disappears back into itself. It never insists, I am this wave forever. Daksh, son of Lord Brahma, one of the three Murtis, also Sati's father, entrusted with the role of Prajapati. His responsibility wasn't simply to populate the world, but to organize it, to establish order, rituals, traditions, and the way society functions. In many ways, Daksh became a symbol of civilization itself. But somewhere along the way, Daksh forgot the difference between the role he had played and who he truly was. He began believing, I am Prajapati, I make the rules, I decide who belongs. This is Ahankar, not simply pride, identification. His identity became so powerful that he even dismissed Shiva from his great yagna. He believed his authority was greater than truth itself. The consequence wasn't merely that Daksh lost his head, he had to receive the head of a goat. Symbolically, the human intellect that had become clouded by ego was replaced with something driven by instinct. His downfall wasn't because he held power, it happened because he believed he was his power. Maybe London was one shoreline where my life rose into a beautiful wave. Now I am on another shore. The water hasn't changed. Every identity I've spent years building, designer, traveler, daughter, someone who lived abroad, they're all useful. But maybe they are only temporary waves. They rise, they fall, and underneath all of them, something much quieter remains. And maybe that's who we really are.